We use technology in so many areas of life. Why not our fish tanks? In today's video, I'm going to walk you through a super helpful resource, App Aquatic. What up, fish friends? My name is Michael. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm excited to show you through this app today, App Aquatic. It's a really helpful resource, especially for new aquarium keepers. There's a lot of different tools built in this app. So let's get going. I'm going to throw up some B-roll of my tank and then we can hop into the app. The first thing that you'll notice is that there's 5 tabs along the bottom: My Tanks, Water Cycle, Species Guide, Fix My Tank, and Aquascape. Starting with the bottom left, My Tanks, you can upload a picture, which is what I've done here for my 125 rainbow. And then I've gone through and entered a bunch of information and it spits out some advice for me. The more information you give it, the more advice and data it will reflect. So looking here, the first thing is like this: BioLoad Amber says I'm pretty much at max capacity. I guess that's an accurate statement. I do have a lot of plants which help keep this tank clean, which that also accounts for. But then there's this what if tab. You can look at adding different species in here. There's about 800 to look through. So adding the neon tetra, the only caution it's advising me against is that I already have a high bio load. Otherwise, things look good. The pH, I didn't enter the temp, but the tank is fine. The fish are compatible and stuff. And then track if I'm entering data here about temperature and algae and that sort of stuff. If there's any deaths, water chemistry, that sort of thing, it can help me draw some correlations. Maybe problem periods where there's lots of deaths, it will show up that the temperature is too high, or maybe the water parameters are funky. So it's a really good way to get an idea of what's causing your problems. Manage tab, I haven't really gone through this, but there's tons of stuff you can do here. It'll allow you to enter data, same with your equipment. And then the ledger lets you know all this stuff that you've entered. You can look back through it. Now moving on to the water cycle. This one's pretty cool. You can scan water tests. Like, some people are colorblind and they really can't identify what the parts per million are. So like looking here at this test here, I'd got ammonia, nitrites, and nitrates for a cycling tank. Then you tap that Start AI Scan. Bang, there you go. It gives you the ammonia down here, which is safe. The nitrites definitely got some in there, and the nitrates as well. So pretty cool here. You can change the test kit you're using, like if you want to use the dipsticks. Those are almost a little harder to read the color for me, so pretty sweet. Gives you reports. You can change the kits here and stuff. And then cycle. If you don't know what the nitrogen cycle is, check out this video in the description. If you're still nervous, even after watching that video, don't worry, you're not alone. A lot of people kind of understand what the nitrogen cycle is, but don't know how to implement that in reality. So you can start this guided setup. It will walk you through all these prompts: fish list cycle, what you want to use. I like to use ammonia. And then starting today, it will give you this plan here. So first, feed the cycle. Okay, it tells you all about that kind of stuff. Pretty neat. Species guide down here. This is exactly what it sounds like. It's got about 800 different species listed, and then a quick description: behavior, tank setup, compatibility, feeding. These are all variables that it takes into account when you're looking at this My Tanks tab as well. Really cool. If you're at the fish store, you can add these species to your tank and see how they'll do, see how it changes your bio load or compatibility. Then the plants tab, I almost like this even more. If you are at the fish store and you're setting up a low-tech tank, there's no point in wasting money on Rotala macrandra, for example. This is an advanced plant here, indicated by this red. It has a high demand for light and it needs CO2, and it's also a background plant. So it gives you tons of information here. Really cool, help you save some money, not buying stuff that's just going to die in your tank. Now let's check out this Fix My Tank tab. I have a picture from a cleaning recently. I met a client who was going through some algae issues. I want to see how this app's advice compares to mine. So let's see what happens. This tank has some severe green water algae. I told my customer that it needed to, oh, there we go, severe green water algae bloom. Okay, pretty sweet. Those are the exact words that I used. So let's see what it says. Perform a water parameter test. Okay, I did that, and there was actually a lot of ammonia in this tank. Reduce the lighting period. Yes, that's what I suggested. And initiate a blackout period. Optional if no fish. Yeah, I didn't advise that because there are fish in there. The one other thing I guess that I would include here is to use a UV water sterilizer. There we go. In section D4. So a lot of this advice here is stuff that I actually gave. Pretty cool, you know. The cost of this app is minimal. It's like $150 a month or something if you want all the paid features. And you basically get the same advice that you'd get from a professional. So that's pretty darn sweet in my opinion. Anyways, this is a really useful app that's got tons and tons of different data entry points. The more info you put in, the more helpful advice it's going to give back to you. And it costs $117 a month, which is really not that much in the grand scheme of things. Think about how much you spend on your fish tank. If you're anything like me, that's a drop in the bucket. And if you're struggling with your tank, really maybe worth considering doing this because it'll give you a lot of advice compared to like hiring me, a professional, for example. I charge a lot more than that just for a minimum site visit. And this app is giving a lot of the same advice that I would give people anyway. So really worth checking this out. See if it will help you solve any of your issues. And that's it for today's video. I'm curious, let me know if you're planning on trying this app out or if you've used it, what you found it helpful with, maybe another app. Curious what people are thinking, drop a comment. If you like today's video, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Until next time, see ya.